And I'm going to make just some floats and booleans. So a boolean is a true or false variable, pretty much. So after the public class, whatever file you called it, this jump or whatever mono behavior, before void start, I'm gonna do public float speed, and you don't have to actually sign anything, which is pretty cool. You can just go like that with a semicolon, and you don't actually have to assign it to anything. And then you can say public float jump. Oh my god, I spelled a float wrong. Float jump, and I'm not going to assign that to anything. And then I'm going to make a public float move velocity. And then I'm going to make a public boolean grounded. And I'm going to set it to true for testing purposes. Okay, so like I said earlier, using public so any other documents can see them. So anyway, now I'm going to go into void update because you don't need anything in void start. Void update. Okay, so there's void update. And we're going to start off with an if statement. So if input dot get key down. So that's if a key is clicked down. Sorry. If input get key clicked down, and then same thing as earlier, key code dot, and I'm just gonna say W. You can do space or W. Actually, no, let's do space because of earlier I showed you using space, and then you're gonna need double parentheses. And since this is an if statement, you'll do like that. That's inside the if statement. And then inside the if statement, we're going to do another if statement. So we already set grounded to true. So we're going to say if grounded. And then this is like another one. So if grounded, then we're going to get component. So for example, get component. So these are all components inside each thing. So this box collider, that's a component. Move script, that's also a component. You can add components like I did to the rigid body and box collider, 2D. So you have to make sure it's 2D, otherwise it won't work. But anyway, so back to our file. Get component. You're gonna do get component and then those little triangle brackets. I don't know what they're called. Rigid body 2D, because remember we added our rigid body here, rigid body 2D, and then we're going to go back to pages and we're going to do rigid body 2D and then dot velocity. So dot velocity, that's something that's already built in. You don't need to make a variable for that. And then you can say equals new vector 2, because so vector 3 is for a 3D plane, and that's like moving an object somewhere else. Vector 3 is like the change between the objects, and then vector 2 on a 2D plane, which what we're pretty much using. And if you want to see this on a 3D plane, because you want to see your camera or stuff, you can click this little 2D button up here. It'll change to a 3D plane. Right click to rotate, middle click to pan, and then scroll to go in. So going back to 2D. Anyway, so we want to go back to our document because we can't play it yet. It'll tell us there's an error. So new vector 2, and then we're going to want to do like parentheses. And then inside the parentheses, we're going to write again get component, and then again rigid body 2D, rigid body 2D, and then dot velocity dot x, because we're gonna move it up, and then comma jump. So there we go. And then you have to go into your thing, and then here, since you'll have a document here inside of MoveScript, which we sadly don't have, there's going to be variables, and you're going to want to change the jump variable to about 6. So now that I've showed you how to do this, if you want to just have one last look at pages, there you go. That's pretty much all you need. You're going to be able to jump in the air more than once. So you're going to be able to like jump as many times as you want. So just really quickly, I'm going to show you how to make sure you don't. So you do down here right before the last one, you're going to do if actually no, just kidding. You're going to do not if, you're going to do void on trigger, and that's already built into Unity. Enter 2D, and then you're gonna do that. So that's a void, so that's pretty much like it's built in, like you can't make those up. So, and then you're gonna write grounded equals true. So pretty much what this does, says if you've entered the 2D object, so that like this, then then you're grounded, so you're on the ground. And then you'd say void, and then you'd put void on trigger exit. So you'd go make another one, void on trigger exit 2D. And then you're going to say grounded equals false. Okay, so there you go. So ground equals false, you have to put a semicolon after this and this, and there you go. That's what you need. So pretty much that's all you have to have. So it says if grounded is true, if you're on the object, then ground is true. So what you're going to have to do is you have to do Control D, and then you're going to have to move this object up a little, because you can't have a box collider and a is trigger at the same time. You're going to have to check mark that on one of them. So if you play this, it'll go through that one, and it'll go on the other one, but it's technically in this, so it's grounded. So now I'm going to show you this on opening a different scene. So once this opens, here we go. I just made this quick little file, and pretty much I'll show you the scripts really quickly just to show you that they're the same. Here you go. This is the transform position plus equals if input debug.log, console's down here. So you can take a minute to look at that and pause the video. Player move 2, which is actually a jump, and this is pretty much exactly what I said earlier. So now that I've showed you that, I'm going to click play. You can jump, and if you see down here, it says jump. So go left, you can see go left, go right, and I haven't actually implemented a follow the player in the camera. So I'm just going to show you on this, so you can keep going. And if you look in the console down the bottom left hand corner, it shows you exactly what you're doing. So you can keep going, and there you go. I'm kind of making a Super Mario Infinity Runner thing, so you just touch it and it dies, so no matter what. So pretty much that's what I have now, and I'm just going to show you how I made those sprites, which are pretty much 2D objects. I looked up what did I look up? I looked up sprite maker, and then I looked down in Piskel was the first one that showed up. Create a sprite. You know, you can change your colors to red and black, and then you can like draw. So you can make like landscapes. So there you go. That's your landscape. You walk around. You know, it's all fun. So what I decided, just went. You can drag and hold. And I'd suggest you look this up because it's actually really good for making sprites. So and then there's an eraser tool, so you can erase what you don't want. And there you go. That's pretty much all you have to do to make sprites and make your own game just for the moving and jumping part. So
make the ground shake.